Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Brock the Collector here, coming back to you this SDCC season with the Star Wars Black Series Force Spirits 3-pack. This is to commemorate the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, with all 3 Force Ghosts being on the retro card. 3 of like 6 Force Ghost figures that we have in the line, including the newer Qui-Gon Jinn, and all 3 of them are on that beautiful, beautiful Return of the Jedi retro card. So, okay, all right. So we got Ben here. You have the Yoda. This one is on the updated body. This is probably one of the sort of newer things about this set. The Kenobi is like almost a straight repack, but this Yoda is on the newer body that they have with that Dagobah figure. So there's a look at the card art. The Anakin Skywalker, the Hayden Christensen version. These are all unpunched cards. There's a look at him on the card art. Man, this thing should have come with the Sebastian Shaw head, man. Because it really makes no sense for Luke to have. Anyways, that's besides the point. Again, all the back of the card arts are the same, but there are the 3 cards together so that you can savor them before I tear these joints open. Look at that. Starting us off, we got Old Man ObiWan Kenobi. Not going to spend too much time on this guy. He's the exact same as the old one, which for a brief period of time I wanted, and then I actually got this year. But then this set was announced at like a Star Wars Celebration. So when Star Wars Celebration happened, it was like, wouldn't it be crazy if they revealed this joint? And then there it was. But instead of doing all 3 Force Ghosts with interchangeable heads for the Anakin to mimic both appearances, you know, you just got the Hayden Christensen version. But we'll get to that later. So anyways, this Obi-Wan here, exact same basic mold as the New Hope Obi-Wan that they've used for several figures now. I'm thinking you got the original release, you had the retro carded one that came on the 40th anniversary of A New Hope retro card in 2017. You had the SDCC release, which I think was the original release that came with the Leia hologram. There was the, what was it called? The Cantina version, the Power of the Force release that was last year, maybe 2 years ago. And then there was, what was the name of that thing? Then there was the 40th anniversary, or there was the 50th anniversary Lucasfilm red retro carded one that came with the vinyl cape that I got. There's more. Oh, the Force Ghost version, this one. There's definitely more that I'm probably forgetting. But 7 on this body at least. And shoot, that's just crazy. For one body, that is ridiculous. Obi-Wan probably has the most amount of figures in the line besides Luke. Like, these two, they dominate the line in terms of a single character. But the figure here, taking a closer look, see, so we got a nice Alec Guinness head up on there. Got himself some nice looking robes. I don't hate the way that the Force Ghosts look in the line. I think that they look fine, especially if you have them all together, including Qui-Gon, I think. To be fair, the other 2 are just different figures of these characters that we have here, 2 of these characters, but honestly, it looks good. I do enjoy it. Looks very ethereal, and I do like the glittery mesh that they threw onto him. You either love, well, I'm not going to say you either love or hate the Force Ghosts, but you either like the Force Ghosts in the Star Wars Black Series line or you don't. And, you know, I don't mind them. I like them. Look at how tiny he is. This newer Yoda body, I always knew that Yoda was short. Of course you know that Yoda's short, but I never imagined that he was this tiny. Even getting the Dagobah Luke and Yoda set 2 years ago, I was just like, is he really this small? I guess the previous Black Series figures warped my mind into thinking that Yoda was larger than he really is. But honestly, I also really enjoyed this figure as well. Of course, there's not too much different going on here with the Obi-Wan, but however, with the Obi-Wan and the Anakin, they have more blue accents on their glittery mesh, whereas the Yoda figure, in order to more match the colors that you see on screen, he's not nearly as blue as the Obi-Wan or the Hayden Christensen Force Ghosts. He's more of like a yellow sort of thing that you can see here. They do still have blue accents, especially his whole Force Ghost. All these Force Ghosts kind of get like a blue sort of shade to them. Like they're just a bit bluish, as you'll notice, compared to, of course, the regular figures of these characters. But man, I like this Yoda figure, man. Honestly, getting to play with it in this sort of aspect, it's really nicely proportioned. I do enjoy this. So look at that. The head sculpt, the last Yoda figure came with 2 head sculpts. Here's a look at the other figure with the focusing closed eye head sculpt, so that's pretty cool. Man, I like this Yoda figure for some reason. I like this a lot. I'm enjoying this set so far. I like this Yoda figure. The last version, of course, the Walmart exclusive, it was cheap for a really long time. It came on that older Yoda body. It's actually still pretty cheap if you wanted to go buy it. It came on that older Yoda body, and of course, you know, the proportions on that body, I guess, are, you know, not up to today's standards in terms of technology and what they can accomplish. And this is honestly far superior looking, even in terms of the head sculpt and everything like that. That last Yoda figure, I got it the same time I got the Force Ghost Obi-Wan earlier this year, and then I sold them off after this set was announced. But I like these two. I like this a lot. This looks really good. For all of you Menton card collectors that just crumble in pain whenever a vintage card gets ripped, I do sort of conserve the cards. I actually have every single retro card. I've kept every single retro carded figure of the cards over time. I think I still have all of them. I just don't display them. But, oh my. Yo, this guy smells crazy. He doesn't smell bad. He just smells a lot more plasticky than the figures usually do. Here's a look at the Anakin Skywalker figure. So this is the Hayden Christensen version. Now, honestly, yes, I'm a firm believer that Hayden Christensen being the Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi makes no sense. Now, you see, when I watched the original trilogy, I watched them on VHS. I had I think it was the 1999 version. Okay, sorry, not the 1999 version. I had the 2000 edition of the original trilogy VHS tapes. That's how I watched the original trilogy. And of course, in every single VHS tape before the 2004 releases of the film, there was Sebastian Shaw as the Force Ghost instead of Anakin Skywalker. So this sort of goes against my childhood way of thinking about it. Of course, look, if you're a prequel fan, like a huge prequel fan, and Anakin is, of course, Hayden Christensen's face is synonymous with Anakin to you like it is with a lot of people, then that's what you got. I just think that for Return of the Jedi, because Luke, as far as my knowledge goes, Luke had never seen any photo or anything of Anakin when he was young. Any video, any home recording of Anakin when he looked like this. You know, I guess they wanted to model sort of before the turn, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of corny. But I do enjoy this little oddity thing to have. I do like this. I just wish that the Sebastian Shaw head, man. Like, why not? I guess they want to use this body again, which this seems to be. I've been hearing that this is the Mace Windu body mold. The Mace Windu body mold that they've been using on the legs. As far as the arms go, that's reused from something. It's not the Old Man Ben body mold because this is quite a bit taller, but that is reused from, the arms are reused from some figure, I think. I completely forgot, but it was something that the arms are reused from. And the torso is new though. The torso, that's the new piece. But overall, I'd say it's proportioned all right. It's just, it's tall, man. It's a tall figure. Like, of course, I know that it's meant to model. Sebastian Shaw wasn't a short man in his own right. I think Hayden Christensen is only 6 foot, and ObiWan Kenobi, Alec Guinness, is 5'10". So this is a hugely stark contrast, but I suppose you could make it work. And of course, next to Yoda, he's just dwarfed by him. But usually the Darth Vader / Anakin figures are quite tall. There's a look at your sort of post Return of the Jedi, or Return of the Jedi, I guess, post final duel on the Death Star. 2 outcomes for Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader, to either die or become good. So that's very interesting. The Anakin Force Ghost, Return of the Jedi, is not the final time that he appeared. He appeared on several different occasions. The most notable was in the book A Truce at Bakura, in which Leia Organa, this happened about 4 years after Return of the Jedi, Leia Organa was dispatched for peace talks, negotiations with some people by the Senate, the Galactic Senate. And while her stay over there, Anakin's Force Ghost appeared to her, and he was basically begging for forgiveness from Leia to forgive him for blowing up her planet, torturing her people. Han Solo, you know, all that stuff. She could almost forgive. She said that she could almost forgive him for Alderaan, but torturing Han Solo was a non-refundable agreement. Me personally, I would be far more mad about the planet. I mean, at least Han Solo survived after the torture, whereas Alderaan, I mean, shoot, even your adoptive dad was killed. But, you know, there are those two together. Eventually, after seeing some video recordings of Anakin as a child, she did come to forgive him, and seeing how he was. And of course, we also got that childhood Anakin figure coming in the line, the Phantom Menace version, which I'm very excited for. But there's a look at those two for now if you wanted to see that. And of course, I will also get down, sorry, I was just messing with my Jaina Solo. I will also get down, I don't have the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary carded version of this figure, but I do have the Mandalorian Luke. So if you wanted to see Luke in black next to that Anakin, that's what you got right there, and that looks good. I love the Force Ghosts. Look at that. They're just a nice thing to have, you know? I can't wait for that 40th. There's just Return of the Jedi, it's probably the most toyetic Star Wars film that there is. The most toyetic. Look at that. There's a real quick thing I thought was funny. When you look at this Hayden Christensen face, which a lot of people seem to be contemplating making customs over, I don't think that you should. I think that this would be too hard to get the glittery mesh off of. But when you look at this Anakin figure and you look at the face, he almost looks like an approachable fellow. But then when you see the Hayden Christensen face in the film, he looks like he has killed kids and he is going to do it again. Look at that face. Look at that. Isn't that just like this grin? This grin is what kills people. Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, no. All right, now we can put them on. All right, I knew it just looks like I just threw these guys anywhere. I'm sort of revamping the Star Wars shelf in some areas, so there's some figures down there and some figures that are not. But anyways, putting them just up onto the shelf so that you can see how they look. I would lie to you guys if I told you I didn't enjoy this set. It has its cons. It's $77, and Yoda is the only one in the set with an accessory, and he didn't even use the cane during the scene. I mean, like, there's not much that you could give to the Force Ghosts, but, you know, I feel like there was maybe something that you could throw in there. Like, if the set was $77 and it came with the bridge, that would be cool. But I'd be lying to you guys if I told you I didn't enjoy this set. To have the Force Ghosts, I think that they look good. I like the Force Ghosts in the line. Can't wait to get the Qui-Gon Force Ghost, because that also looks quite good. It's just the prices these days that are killing everything, but look at that. Look at that, man. And the Hayden Christensen Force Ghost, it's quite a joke, but I'd be lying if I told you I didn't enjoy this set all the same. But it's SDCC time, so of course I'll have videos on the panels coming out, and looking forward to it, man. So yeah, stay safe out there, and remember, although I'm leaving, the Force will be with you always.